This dusty barren land had given all it could yield.
Third generation, my grandfather came out from England in 1937 and we're third generation on this property. We farm a bit over 1,000 hectares. We've moved away from sheep and cattle into cultivation. When you get country tied up with bluegrass or vegetation management and you put in your submission to try and change the legislation or try and change on your property, and you tell them the weed issue will be the biggest problem, the governments weren't interested.
When it was the Vegetation Management Act first came out, there was no one who would come out and ground truth it. So it was all done by aerial mapping, and they came in and they looked at the land and they said, well, this paddock is pink country and this paddock here has natural bluegrass on it. Well, the natural bluegrass, after we'd spent thousands of dollars with a botanist and going into Canberra and putting our proposal forward to them and explaining to them that it actually wasn't natural bluegrass, they then said, well, if you can have it back. But by that stage, we've got mile suckers growing over 300 acres of country which we now have to go in and blade plough at our own expense. It's only 300 hectares, yet it's had an enormous financial impact on us because we can't use that land in the state that it's in, and for us to get it into, cultivation, it's an enormous capital outlay. So we need to have somewhere the ability to, when we do have a good season and we do have, money coming in, that we have that opportunity to go in and develop that country and make it profitable.
We're always fighting for funding and one of the biggest problems is weeds. Biggest problem is weeds on main roads and controlling them. No one wants to take any notice, especially B-class main roads. No one wants to take any notice of them or have any responsibility. The landholder is the main go-to person when it comes to clearing or cleaning up a problem. We've got African lovegrass and lip ear, and if they're not controlled, they just ruin the country. They think a little bit of spray will fix it, but it's a long-term problem.
School fees have just continued to increase dramatically, and at no stage has there been an increase in assistance, and especially when times are terrible and we've had all these flood and drought. At no stage did anyone from government even mention that those people who have children at boarding school, and so you're just left with struggling to keep them at school. And I mean, the worst thing you can do is interrupt a child during the middle of their education. I mean, the alternative is there isn't one. You either pull them out of school and bring them home, and then put them on a bus 60-70 kilometres a day into the one way into a high school, or you struggle, you sell all your assets, or not your assets, but sell your shares, sell your investments, and struggle to pay the school fees.
So collect your courage and collect your horse, and pray you never feel the same kind of remorse.